Commander Arya Santos stood at the viewport of Celestial Station, Earth a blue marble suspended in the void below. At 35, she was the youngest person ever to command an international space station, a testament to her brilliance and dedication. But today, her mind wasn't on the complex systems she oversaw or the groundbreaking experiments conducted under her watch. Today, her thoughts were firmly earthbound, focused on the arrival of the next supply shuttle. Dr. Leo Chen was coming aboard. Leo had been Arya's best friend since their days at the Space Academy. They'd been inseparable during training, pushing each other to excel, dreaming of the day they'd explore the cosmos together. But their careers had taken different paths. Arya to command, Leo to xenobiology. This would be the first time in 5 years they'd be in the same place. As the shuttle docked with a gentle thud, Arya smoothed her uniform, suddenly self-conscious. The airlock cycled, and there he was. Leo's eyes found hers immediately, crinkling at the corners as he broke into a grin. "Permission to come aboard, Commander?" Arya's heart skipped a beat. "Permission granted, Doctor," she replied, struggling to keep her voice professional. As the new arrivals were processed, Arya and Leo fell into easy conversation, years melting away. His laugh was just as she remembered, his enthusiasm for his work infectious. "I still can't believe they found microbial life on Europa," Leo was saying as they walked towards the lab. "And now I get to study it up close. This is why we dreamed of space, right?" Arya nodded, but her mind was elsewhere. Had his eyes always been that shade of warm brown? Had his smile always made her feel like she was floating, even in zero-G? Over the next few weeks, Arya found herself making excuses to visit the biology lab. She and Leo fell back into their old rhythms, working late into the night shift, sharing meals in the mess hall, and watching Earth rotate below during their downtime. It was during one of these quiet moments that everything changed. They were in the observation dome, the Milky Way sprawled above them in breathtaking clarity. Leo was pointing out constellations, his voice soft with wonder. "You know," he said, turning to her, "I used to imagine us up here together, back in Academy, exploring the universe side by side." Arya's breath caught. "Leo, But before she could finish, alarms blared throughout the station. A meteoroid had breached the hull of the biology lab. They raced through the corridors, donning emergency suits as they went. The situation was critical. The Europa samples were at risk, and with them, the most significant scientific discovery of the century. Working in perfect sync, they managed to seal the breach and save the samples. As the emergency crews took over, Arya and Leo found themselves in a storage closet, adrenaline still pumping. "That was close," Leo panted, removing his helmet. Arya nodded, suddenly very aware of how small the closet was, how close they were standing. "Leo, what you said earlier, in the observation dome." He met her gaze, vulnerability and hope warring in his eyes. "I meant it, Arya. Being here with you, it's like no time has passed at all. Except?" "Except?" she prompted, heart pounding. "Except now I realize what I was too scared to admit back then. That you're more than my best friend. Arya didn't let him finish. She closed the distance between them, pressing her lips to his. Leo froze for a moment, then pulled her closer, deepening the kiss. When they finally parted, both breathless, Leo rested his forehead against hers. "Wow," he murmured. "I guess zero-G really does affect the brain." Arya laughed, swatting his arm playfully. "You're such a scientist." "Hey, I'm just saying we might need to run some more trials. You know, for accuracy." As they made their way back to the main hub, hand in hand, Arya felt a sense of rightness settle over her. Here, floating 400 kilometers above the Earth, she'd found something she hadn't even known she was missing. The next months were a whirlwind of activity. The station buzzed with excitement over the Europa findings, and Arya and Leo were at the center of it all. They worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of science, all while navigating their new relationship. There were challenges, of course. The close quarters of the station meant their relationship was the subject of good-natured gossip. Maintaining professionalism while working side by side wasn't always easy, and they both knew that eventually Leo's mission would end, and he'd return to Earth. But for now, they savored every moment. Late-night conversations about the nature of life in the universe, stolen kisses in the hydroponics bay, the simple joy of waking up to video messages from each other during opposite shifts. As Leo's departure date approached, Arya found herself torn. She'd worked her whole life to be where she was, commanding humanity's outpost among the stars. But the thought of saying goodbye to Leo made her question everything. The night before he was set to leave, they floated in the observation dome, Earth shining below them. "I've been offered a position with the Mars colonization project," Leo said softly. 5-year mission. Launch is in 8 months. Arya's heart clenched. "Leo, that's amazing. It's everything you've ever wanted." He turned to her, taking her hands in his. "Not everything. Arya, come with me." She blinked, stunned. "What?" "Your tour here ends in 6 months. Join the Mars mission with me. We could explore a whole new world together, just like we always dreamed." Arya's mind raced. Leave Celestial Station? Go to Mars? It was crazy. It was impulsive. It was exactly what she wanted. "Yes," she breathed, surprising herself. "Yes, let's do it." Leo's face lit up, brighter than any star. He pulled her close, spinning them in a weightless dance of joy. As they kissed, the Earth continued its eternal orbit below, and the universe stretched out around them, full of possibility. They had found each other among the stars, and now, together, they would reach for new ones. In the morning, Leo would board the shuttle back to Earth. But it wasn't an ending. It was the beginning of their greatest adventure yet. As Arya drifted off to sleep that night, wrapped in Leo's arms, she smiled. Who knew that in the vast, cold expanse of space, she would find the warmth of true love? Sometimes it seemed the gravity of the heart was the strongest force in the universe.